SHRM situational question has a critical sentence, and that sentence does something very important. It sets the constraint of the entire scenario. If you miss that constraint, you will almost always choose the wrong answer, even if you understand the content. Today, we're going to slow that down and break it open. By the end of this video, that sentence will be your strongest advantage on the exam. Now, a constraint is the condition under which HR must operate. It tells you the environment, the pressure, and the reality that directs your options. Think of the constraint as the ground that you're standing on. You don't choose an answer outside of that or the ground will shake. You choose what is logical within it. Most wrong answers happen because people use their own workplace reality instead of the exam's reality. So you think about your workplace, your culture, your resources, and your style. But for the exam, you need to operate within the workplace that is described to you. And what's more, you need to leave your assumptions at the door. Now, the constraint sentence defines the world of the question that is important in your decision making. If you skip it, you're answering from your own experience instead of the scenario. Let's talk about some common constraints that you'll see. Number one, the organization is growing quickly. So that means HR has to prioritize scalability. Processes need structure, systems need support, and roles need clarity. Your wrong answers will focus on individual moments, and your right answers will focus on capacity and stability. Another common one is after a recent merger. Mergers are big. This tells us that cultures are blending. Processes may be in conflict. Organizational structure may be misaligned, and employees may be confused about what they should be doing. So your right answers will involve some kind of integration or alignment or rolling out some kind of communication plan. And also change management structures are big in this area. Another one is adding a new leader to the organization, like a new COO is hired or a CEO or president is hired or even a business unit leader. Now, the immediate implication is there is a shift in the strategic direction. Leadership expectations are changing, and HR's role is to support alignment and clarity. So your right answers will focus on understanding those new priorities and supporting the transitions. And you also want to make sure you're establishing communication channels and any kind of processes you need. Turnover has risen sharply in the past 90 days or 60 days or 30 days. That's another one you'll see. That constraint means something is broken. So HR has to identify what things are causing that and look for patterns. Individual coaching is going to be too small if you have organizational turnover. The right answers are going to be something like conducting analysis or reviewing data or even investigating the root cause, sometimes even presenting findings to the management or leadership. Another recurring one is a manager reports conflict within their team. Now, this constraint tells us that HR is not the one experiencing the conflict. So HR's role is to explore or clarify, not jump in. Right answers are like fact-finding or management support or coaching the leader or setting or maybe resetting expectations. Your wrong answers will involve HR diving in and doing the manager's job. Now, I know that's a difficult one because that's what we do a lot of the times, but hold your horses. So here's the key. A constraint removes certain answers from consideration. For example, if the scenario says the organization is expanding globally, anything that only affects one location is too small. If the constraint is turnover, anything that doesn't address root cause is too narrow. If the scenario is about a merger, anything that doesn't address integration or alignment is wrong. The constraint tells you to choose only from the responses that make sense in the workplace as described in the situation. This is why two answers can sound right, but only one fits that constraint. Now that you understand the constraint, let's look at a quick scenario and walk through it. Here's the question. The organization is growing quickly and has recently added 2 new product lines. A manager complains that employees lack clarity on responsibilities. A says hold a team morale event to bolster engagement. B says have HR meet with individual employees. Work with leaders to define communication flows. Offer a conflict resolution workshop. Now let's apply the constraint, which, as you should recognize, is the organization is growing. Growth creates role confusion, overlapping responsibilities, process gaps, most of all, communication struggles. So you're asking yourself which answer solves that in reality. Now you can see only C strengthens structure as the organization scales. A, B, and D are individually helpful, but they don't match the growth constraint that we see here. So here is the heart of the strategy. Every time you read a question, look for the condition of the environment. Then ask yourself, given this condition, what is the most realistic and responsible step for HR to take? Not the fastest, not the most familiar, not the one you would do at work, but the most realistic next step for the exam. That question will eliminate half the wrong answers. When you understand these constraints, questions become a little bit more clear. You stop guessing. You stop getting stuck between two good answers, and you will stop getting stuck looking for things just because it feels urgent. Because you're not choosing based on preference. You're choosing based on the situation that the question created. And that is the skill that is going to get you the pass. The ability to make decisions that make sense with what is given to you. If you master this, then you master the exam. Also, I want to address something else because you guys have been asking me a lot. I know I haven't been posting as much as normal, and that's because I'm busy working on my 30-day last chance boot camp. Now, the good news is I'm winding down. I'm almost done. So I should be getting back to my weekly videos here pretty soon. I'd say in the next week or two. So don't worry. I am going to be your support as exam day draws near. I know the testing window is open and you guys are looking to me for support and advice, and I want to be here to give it to you, but I also want to make sure that I am giving everyone a good product, what they need to pass the exam. So I just took a little bit of time off so that I can make sure that my focus is on the boot camp. But again, I'm almost done. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.